What do you do if an opponent gives you balls that have absolutely zero pace on them and they kind of just sit around here in mid-court? These are the so-called easy sitters. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can crush them at all times. Now, I call them the so-called easy sitters because those are the ones that a whole lot of times we're missing because we're just too greedy. And somebody says like, well, the pros always make them look that easy. Well, they make them look that easy because they actually practice them. The reason why the pros are pros is that they don't ever underestimate a shot. But those are the ones that recreational players routinely miss because they underestimate them. And a lot of times, recreational players miss those balls because they're just over hitting them completely. I am saying that you should be aggressive with them, but I'm not saying that you should hit them as hard as humanly possible. Two different things. You need to attack them. And when I say attack them, I mean with your feet. The very name of those balls gives it away. Sitters. They're just hanging here somewhere. They're not really penetrating through the court. They're not coming to you, so you need to be the one getting up to them. If you were to wait for those balls, they're dropping again, and they are slower at that point. The ball slows down quite significantly after it has reached the top of its bounce. You would have to lift it, which makes it more passive, and all of that translates into more time for your opponent. And by moving up to it, you will most likely get the ball in a much better contact zone, hopefully somewhere between hip and shoulder. And by moving in, of course, I'm taking away all this time that the ball would have to travel had I stayed back there and forward here again. So I'm rushing my opponent. That combines into not even having to hit the ball as hard as possible. For a lot of players, it's a lot easier to create a lot of energy on their forehands by using their entire body here. They're loading here. Do you see how I'm dropping down? And then they're letting that energy travel back up through their entire body, from the legs, through the hips, torso, shoulders, their arm, hand, and then lastly into their racket. The principle on how to load and create energy is the exact same on the backhand side, but for most players, I want to say, it is a lot harder to do that. And that is why you see so many players running around their backhands to then again set up with their forehands. I feel especially for one-handers, these are really tough, and you do want to really try to get that ball around chest high. Anything above here is really difficult. Personally, I feel a whole lot more balanced if I'm attacking these balls with a closed stance here. If I'm trying to load really extremely with an open stance, I'm just tripping over my own feet. And that's why you see even me, although I do prefer my backhand, moving around these sitters and getting them with my forehand. But even if you can't move around your backhand, you still want to exploit that somebody's given you these no pace balls basically by moving up to it and attacking it early. Moving up, using your entire body makes you super aggressive, which allows you also to choose safer targets. So go ahead and do not aim for lines. Instead, this is a fantastic target, and this is a fantastic target. And in one of my last videos, I actually also talked about attacking the middle of the court, right there to their bootstraps. And I'll link to that video up here. So all of these options are available. You can should absolutely stay away from the lines. Choosing smarter targets also go hand in hand with accepting that a forced error is also a point for you. You don't want to have done all this work just to then tee off on that ball and completely overhit it either straight into the fence or by missing it that much because you were too greedy. And then last tip, after you hit that shot, do not admire it. Either move all the way in, depending on where you find your balance, give it 3-4 aggressive steps and you're in a great volley position, or recover all the way back behind the baseline.